All right, hi Thumos. Hello, everybody. This will be my next upload for the YouTube challenge, and I'd like to talk about the philosophy that I've created for myself, and possibly sharing it with others. Um, you know, Creating something greater than myself to believe in, to motivate me and inspire me to follow an honorable path and to contribute to society and to make my community and the people I come across and my life in general, making it authentic, making it honorable, and just offering value to the world. So I feel very close to something pure and potent. And, you know, I've dived down so many different paths and avenues about purpose and meaning, and I've gone through nihilistic phases. I've read all the books. I've gathered all this knowledge. And from what I've been able to cultivate to this point is I've realized that it's not about black and white. It's not about duality. Everybody in this life is always in pain or pleasure, or they're right or they're wrong, or they're good or they're evil. And a dualistic separation of our reality, I know, is what the issue really is. And what I've been able to realize is that there is a third option. And I've talked about this in my previous video about the logos, the pathos, and the ethos. You have the pathos and you have the logos. And at the top of the pyramid, you have the ethos. Now, society is going to pull you towards the pathos, or they're going to pull you towards the logos. But the ethos is what's standing at the top of the pyramid. It's what sees everything. It has clarity. It has purpose. It has meaning. Men of ethos contribute to society. They improve it. They create. They innovate. So part of the philosophy is becoming a man of ethos. And I tie that closely with honor. The word honor is packed with so much value and potency. You can look at the honor in everything. Someone struggling, you help them. You ease their suffering. You innovate. You give. You don't take. That's honor. You give to something greater than yourself. That is honor. You sacrifice for the common good, for the greater good. That is honor. Now, the other aspect of the philosophy that I've created is understanding the elements in their simplest forms. And I'm talking about the earth, water, air, and fire. These four elements compose everything in our reality and in our world. But if you really look at the elements, yes, they are simple, but they also represent everything. And each element has certain principles and certain characteristics. Let's look at Earth. Earth is rigid. Earth has potential energy. If you look at people who would exhibit an Earth-type character, they're strong, they're durable, they're resilient, but they're also rigid. They could be brittle. Earth has its strengths and its weaknesses. Then you have water. Water is very adaptable. Bruce Lee always says, be like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Water can flow or it can crash. Water also has strengths and weaknesses. Air has some good qualities. Air is linked to logic, right? We pull thoughts out of the air. Where do they come from? You could look at the 4 archetypes too. What's the magician do? The magician wants space and isolation. The magician pulls information from the air, from nothing. Sometimes you need space. Sometimes you need solitude. And then let's look at fire. Fire is pure kinetic energy. Provides heat, provides light, provides warmth, energy. But fire can also destroy. Fire can burn entire forests. And each element has relationships with the other elements. They have a strength and a weakness against the other elements. Now you can tie in these principles of fire, of water, of air, of earth, into the character of a man or a woman. And let's look at the 4 archetypes of the male psyche. So you have the king, you have the lover, you have the magician, and you have the warrior. Now let's attribute the element to each one. What is the king? The king is your why. The king has the purpose. He's at the very center of the kingdom. You look at the word hearth, just take the H off, and it becomes the heart. The heart is the fire, the passion, the drive. So the king would be the fire. And then the water would be the lover. We like to be influenced by what we love. We go with it. We adapt. We accept. Our emotions are fluid, like water. Let's look at the warrior. The warrior is rigid, but the warrior is strong. He fights. He puts on armor. The warrior protects, shelters, just like Earth would shelter and do all those things. And the magician, let's look at air. The magician hides. He keeps his distance. He analyzes. Magicians love their solitude. They're usually depicted as wanderers and lone wolves. And they're very smart, intelligent. They pull the thoughts out of nowhere, it seems like. But they're just in tune with air. So you have the 4 archetypes, you have the 4 elements, and you have honor at the very top. But what if we take honor and we take ethos? We put it into the very center of the 4 elements. And we have each element, if they're authentically synergized and going into the correct direction, and all 4 come into the center, and they're all balanced, what do we get? We get the aether, or the ether, the spirit, the combination of all the elements, all the archetypes. The ether, that's the goal of a human, to become the ether. Mastering all of the elements and using them towards honor, towards love, towards truth, towards clarity. We could call these types of men sages. Not just a magician, not just a warrior, not just a king, and not just a lover. They are sages. They've mastered all the aspects. They can become water, they can become fire, they could become earth, and they could become air whenever they want. They can do anything. They're completely elastic and they're completely adaptable. Become men of ethos and become men of the aether. The aether is the most important element. It's the lost element, the forgotten element. They call it spirit. So I've combined ethos and I've combined the aether into my own philosophy. And the title of this philosophy is going to be called Ethosis. Aethosis. Ethosis. Master the elements, master the archetypes, and point them all towards honor, all towards truth, all towards love. If we can do this, we can transcend mediocre existence, and we can make the world a better place. We can become anything. We become sages. We become the dragon. And we do epic shit for the right reasons. Ethosis. Thank you for listening. So I wanted to add a last thought, that a kind of cool one that I was thinking about a dragon, and the four elements. And let's look at a dragon. A dragon has very tough and protective scales. A dragon has wings. A dragon could also go underwater. It's been labeled a serpent in the past. And a dragon can breathe fire. A dragon has mastered all four elements. So, figuratively, we can become a dragon. And in the transformation, mindset of bettering yourself, we always hear, conquer your dragons, face the dragon, ride the dragon. So what's the dragon? The dragon is the four elements, the four archetypes, the principles of our reality, mastering all of them. You'll become a dragon. And you'll become one of the most powerful beings in the world. So yeah, a cool thought.